Captain Hyun Woo stared at the strange lights dancing outside his ship. The exploration vessel Baekdu had been traveling through the Vale Nebula for 3 weeks. This was the farthest any human ship had ever gone from Earth. The year was 2387, and humanity had only discovered faster than light travel 6 months ago. "Captain, we're getting some very odd reading," said Engineer Tae-jun from his station. His voice carried worry. "There is something big out there. Really big." Dr. Nari Kim looked up from her research console. As the ship's xenobiologist, she had spent years studying the possibility of alien life. But now, faced with actual contact, she felt her heart racing. "The energy patterns are unlike anything we have seen before," she said quietly. The lights outside grew brighter. They formed shapes that hurt to look at directly. Geometric patterns twisted and turned in ways that made no sense. The crew watched in silence as the lights moved closer to their ship. "Captain," called out Navigation Officer Bo Ram, "our instruments are going crazy. Whatever that is, it is affecting our entire ship." Hyun Woo had been a space captain for 15 years. He had seen solar storms, asteroid fields, and equipment failures that nearly killed his crew. But this was different. This felt important in a way he could not explain. "All stop," he ordered. "Power down weapons. We wait and see what they want." The lights suddenly stopped moving. They gathered together and formed something that looked like a doorway made of pure energy. Through this doorway stepped a being that defied description. It looked like light itself had learned to think and move. The being spoke, but not with words. Its voice appeared directly in their minds. "Greetings, children of Earth. I am Luminarch Veltis, representative of the Eternal Conclave. We have been waiting for you." Engineer Tae-jun gripped his chair so hard his knuckles turned white. "Waiting for us? How did you know we were coming?" The light being shifted its form. "We have known of your species for a very long time. You are special among all the races in the galaxy. You possess something that makes you unique." Dr. Nari Kim stepped forward, her scientific curiosity overcoming her fear. "What do you mean? What makes humans different?" "You inspire others to become more than they thought possible," Veltis explained. "When other species meet humans, they find ways to exceed their natural limits. This is a gift that appears perhaps once in 10 million years." Captain Hyun Woo tried to process this information. "Are you saying that just by meeting us, other aliens become better somehow?" "Yes. And because of this gift, the Eternal Conclave has established a universal law. Any species that aids humanity in your expansion across the stars will receive 2 rewards. First, they will be granted immortality. Their people will never age or die from natural causes. Second, they will receive unlimited resources, entire star systems full of rare minerals, advanced technology, whatever they need." The crew exchanged glances. This sounded too good to be true. Navigation Officer Bo Ram spoke up. "Why would you do this? What do you get in return?" The light being pulsed brighter. "The galaxy has been stagnant for millions of years. Most civilizations reach a point where they stop growing, stop learning, stop dreaming. But humans change that. When other species work with you, they break through barriers they never thought possible. This benefits everyone." Dr. Nari Kim had dozens of questions, but one seemed most important. How many species know about this law? All of them. The word is already spreading across the galaxy. Soon, representatives from hundreds of civilizations will come to Earth. They will offer you gifts, technology, protection, anything they can provide. Each hopes to secure their place as humanity's ally. Engineer Tae-jun looked concerned. "That sounds like it could cause problems. What if different species fight over who gets to help us?" Valthis's form flickered. "That is possible. The rewards we offer are the greatest treasures in the universe. Some species may compete aggressively for the right to support humanity." Captain Hyun Woo felt the weight of responsibility settling on his shoulders. "What exactly do you expect from us? What are our obligations in this arrangement?" "Simply be yourselves. Explore the galaxy. Build colonies on new worlds. Form relationships with other species. Your natural ability to inspire others will do the rest. The species that help you most will receive the greatest rewards. The conversation continued for 2 hours. The crew learned that the Eternal Conclave consisted of beings so ancient, they had given up physical form entirely. They existed as pure consciousness within crystalline structures that could survive the death of stars. These beings had witnessed the rise and fall of countless civilizations. We have seen what happens when the galaxy becomes stagnant, Valthis explained. Entire sectors fall into decline, scientific progress stops, art and culture decay. But when a species like yours appears, everything changes. Innovation returns, dreams become reality again. Dr. Narikim asked, "Have there been others like us before?" "Once, 12 million years ago, another species possessed your gift. They spread across the galaxy and inspired countless civilizations to new heights. But eventually, they transcended physical existence entirely and joined the Conclave. The galaxy fell back into stagnation until now. The implications of this information were staggering. Humanity was apparently destined to catalyze a new golden age across the galaxy. But the previous species with this gift had eventually abandoned physical existence. Would humans face the same choice? What happened to the species that helped the previous gift-bearers?" asked Navigation Officer Bo Ram. Valthis paused for a long moment. "They became the foundation of many current civilizations. Some achieved great things. Others became dependent on their benefactors and lost their own drive to grow." As the meeting drew to a close, Valthis left them with final instructions. "Return to Earth. Inform your leaders of what you have learned. Prepare your people for what is coming. The galaxy is about to change in ways you cannot imagine." The light being faded away, leaving the crew alone in the darkness of space. The Bekdu's instruments slowly returned to normal operation, but nothing would ever be the same for humanity. Captain Hyun Woo set course for Earth, knowing that their small exploration mission had just altered the destiny of their entire species. In the cargo hold, they carried recordings of their encounter that would soon change everything humans thought they knew about their place in the universe. The journey home would take 3 weeks. During that time, the crew would debate and discuss what they had learned. Dr. Nari Kim would analyze every detail of their encounter. Engineer Tai Jun would study the technological implications. Navigation Officer Bo Ram would plot courses to distant stars that might soon be within human reach. But all of them understood one thing clearly. Humanity was about to become the most important species in the galaxy. The question was whether they were ready for everything that would bring. Admiral So Young stood on the observation deck of Luna Station, watching the most incredible sight in human history. Dozens of alien ships filled the space around Earth's moon. Each vessel was different from the others. Some looked like living creatures made of metal. Others appeared to be carved from single massive crystals. A few seemed to shift and change shape as she watched them. "Admiral, we have 17 more ships requesting permission to approach," reported Communications Officer Jin Woo. His voice carried exhaustion. For the past 3 months, alien visitors had been arriving almost daily. It had been 6 months since Captain Hyun Woo returned from the Veil Nebula with news of the Eternal Conclave's decree. Earth's governments had barely finished processing the information when the first alien delegation arrived. Now, Luna Station had been converted into the galaxy's busiest diplomatic center. "Which species this time?" So Young asked, reviewing the daily reports on her tablet. "The Corvin Republic and something called the Nethys Collective. Both are requesting immediate meetings with human leadership." So Young nodded. The Corvins had been mentioned in several intelligence reports. They were an aquatic species from a water world in the Rigel sector. Their technology was reportedly advanced, especially their defensive systems. The Nethys Collective was new to her, but every day brought new names and new offers. "Schedule them for this afternoon. Make sure the environmental systems can handle aquatic visitors." Down in the main conference hall, Dr. Nari Kim was meeting with representatives from the hexapod engineers. These beings looked like enormous metal spiders, but their intelligence was undeniable. They had already shared blueprints for structures that could house millions of people. Your species builds cities that last perhaps 200 years, clicked the lead hexapod through its translator device. We can teach you to build structures that will survive for 10,000 years. Entire worlds can be transformed into perfect homes for your people. Dr. Nari Kim studied the holographic displays showing massive space stations and planetary cities. The engineering was beyond anything humans had imagined. What do you want in return? Only to be part of humanity's expansion. We wish to send our engineers with your colony ships. Let us help you build a civilization that spans the galaxy. Similar conversations were happening throughout Luna Station. In Conference Room 7, Captain Dong Hyun met with traders from the Zephyrian Trade Federation. These tall, thin beings with silver skin were offering entire star systems rich in rare minerals. The Kepler 442 system contains 17 planets, explained Trademaster Velketh. 3 are rich in quantum crystals needed for your faster-than-light drives. 2 others contain metals that exist nowhere else in known space. All we ask is the honor of supplying your expansion fleets. Captain Dong Hyun had spent his career as a merchant, negotiating deals across human space. But these offers were beyond anything he had ever encountered. Why are these systems not already claimed by your people? They are too far from our core worlds to be profitable under normal circumstances. But supporting humanity changes everything. The Eternal Conclave's rewards make any investment worthwhile. The Zephyrian leaned forward, its large eyes reflecting the holographic star charts. We have already begun mining operations. The first shipments of quantum crystals will arrive at Earth within 2 months. No payment required. This is our gift to humanity. While these peaceful negotiations continued, other situations were developing across the solar system. Commander Ji-hoon monitored space traffic from Mars Defense Command. His job had become increasingly complex as alien ships maneuvered for position around human worlds. Sir, we have a problem near Jupiter, reported Tactical Officer Min Jung. 2 alien fleets are facing off over mining rights in the asteroid belt. Ji-hoon pulled up the tactical display. The crystalline hierophants and the void shepherds had been competing for weeks over who would be allowed to extract resources for human use. Both species claimed they could provide better materials for human shipbuilding. Have either group made aggressive moves? Not yet, but their ships are maintaining weapons lock on each other. The crystalline fleet has 47 vessels. The void shepherds have 32, but their ships are larger. This was becoming a common problem. Species that had been neutral or even friendly with each other for centuries were now competing fiercely for the privilege of supporting humanity. The rewards promised by the Eternal Conclave were too valuable to share. Send a message to both fleets, Ji-hoon ordered. Remind them that any conflict near human worlds will result in their immediate expulsion from the solar system. The message was sent, but Ji-hoon knew it might not be enough. As word of the Conclave's decree spread further across the galaxy, more species were arriving with increasingly desperate offers. Some had traveled for months just to reach Earth, investing everything they had in the hope of becoming humanity's allies. Back on Luna Station, Engineer Yu Jin was reviewing the most ambitious proposal yet received. The Thermal Gardens Coalition wanted to build a massive ring structure around the sun itself. This ring would collect solar energy and transmit it anywhere in the galaxy using quantum field technology. The construction would take 50 years, explained the coalition's representative, a being that looked like flowing liquid metal. But when complete, humanity would have unlimited energy for all expansion efforts. Your ships could travel to any star system without fuel concerns. Yu Jin ran calculations on his computer. The engineering challenges were immense, but the coalition seemed confident in their abilities. What would you need from us to begin this project? Only permission and cooperation. We will provide all materials, all labor, all technology. Our species has built 17 such structures for other civilizations, but none have been as important as this one. The offer was tempting, but Yu Jin had learned to be cautious. Every alien species claimed their contribution would be the most valuable. He scheduled the coalition for further meetings while continuing to review other proposals. In her private office, Admiral So Young met with scientist Bo Ram to discuss a troubling discovery. Bo Ram had been analyzing the behavioral patterns of visiting alien species, and her findings were concerning. Not all of these species have good intentions, Bo Ram reported. The Shadow Syndicate delegation that arrived yesterday has been asking very specific questions about human biology and psychology. Their interest seems more scientific than diplomatic. So Young reviewed the classified reports. The Shadow Syndicate represented several predatory civilizations known for exploiting weaker species. Their sudden interest in supporting humanity raised serious questions. What kind of questions have they been asking? Details about human reproduction, lifespan, and genetic structure. They want to know how many humans exist, how quickly the population grows, and what factors limit human expansion. It feels like they are studying us as a resource rather than seeking partnership. This was exactly what Earth's leaders had feared. The promise of immortality and unlimited wealth would attract both genuine allies and those with darker motives. Some species might view humans as valuable livestock to be protected and eventually harvested. Double security around all Shadow Syndicate meetings, So Young ordered, and prepare a full analysis of any species that seems too interested in human biology. As the day ended, So Young stood again at the observation deck, watching the alien ships. In just 6 months, humanity had gone from believing they were alone in the universe to being the most sought-after species in the galaxy. The opportunities were incredible, but the dangers were growing as well. Tomorrow would bring new delegations, new offers, and new challenges. The galaxy's attention was focused on humanity, and everyone wanted to be part of their expansion. The question was whether humans could manage this cosmic gold rush without losing their independence or their souls. Colony Administrator Eugene looked out at the growing settlement on Kepler Prime. 3 years had passed since first contact with the Eternal Conclave, and humanity was expanding faster than anyone had dreamed possible. The colony ship Tebek sat in the spaceport, preparing for its journey to the Andromeda Gateway. 17 new worlds now housed human settlements, each one supported by different alien benefactors. The harvest reports are incredible, said Agricultural Supervisor Hai Wan, reviewing data on her tablet. The Corvin water purification systems have tripled our crop yields. The soil enhancement technology from the hexapod engineers is working beyond all expectations. Eugene nodded, but his expression remained troubled. Success had brought problems nobody had anticipated. What about the psychological evaluations Dr. Hyo Yoon requested? Hai Wan's enthusiasm faded. 37% of colonists are showing signs of what she calls transcendence fatigue. People are struggling with the constant attention from our alien allies. They feel more like symbols than individuals. This was becoming a common issue across human settlements. Every human action was watched, studied, and celebrated by alien species, desperate to learn from humanity's inspiring nature. Children could not play without alien observers taking notes. Scientists could not conduct research without dozens of species offering unsolicited improvements to their work. Dr. Hyo Yoon had documented over 200 cases of colonists requesting transfer back to Earth. I feel like a zoo animal, one colonist had told her. Every time I solve a simple problem, the Zephyrians act like I just discovered fire. It is exhausting. Meanwhile, on New Busan Colony, Military Commander Ji Hoon was dealing with a more serious problem. The Umbral Coalition had been conducting increasingly bold attacks on human settlements. These attacks were not direct military strikes, but subtle, sabotage operations designed to make human expansion appear dangerous and unstable. They hit the water treatment plant again, reported Security Chief Wu Bin. No casualties this time, but the system will be offline for 6 days while we make repairs. Ji Hoon studied the tactical reports. The Umbral Coalition consisted of species that had been excluded from supporting humanity, either because they arrived too late or because their offers had been rejected. Now they spread propaganda claiming humans were cosmic parasites who disrupted the natural order of the galaxy. What about the alien species helping us? Are they providing additional security? The Corvin Republic has sent 3 patrol ships, and the hexapod engineers are installing better defensive systems. But the Umbral Coalition is careful to strike only when our allies are not present. They know exactly when to attack. The sabotage was working. Several planned human colonies had been delayed or canceled due to security concerns. Earth's government was spending enormous resources on protection that should have been used for expansion. On the research station orbiting Vega, philosopher Min Seo was making observations that challenged everything humans thought they knew about their gift. She had been traveling between human settlements for 2 years, studying how humanity's presence affected their alien allies. The children are the key, she told her research team during their weekly meeting. Human children raised alongside alien species are developing remarkable abilities. Dr. Park Jae, her lead researcher, pulled up video recordings from various colonies. On Kepler Prime, 8-year-old Su Jin can communicate telepathically with Corvin children. The connection formed naturally after 6 months of playing together. And here on New Seoul, added research assistant Dayun, teenager Kyung Ho has developed quantum intuition after working with Nethys engineers. He can solve mathematical problems that should require advanced computers. Min Seo reviewed the data carefully. These were not isolated incidents. Across 17 colonies, human children were developing enhanced abilities by interacting closely with different alien species. The implications were staggering. It appears our gift for inspiring others works both ways, she concluded. We inspire aliens to exceed their limits, but close contact with them enhances our own capabilities as well. Back on Earth, significant changes were occurring among humanity's first alien allies. The Thermal Gardens Coalition had been supporting human expansion for 3 full years, and the effects were becoming visible. Coalition members had stopped aging entirely, and their cognitive abilities had increased dramatically. Their mathematical capabilities have improved by approximately 400%, reported Chief Scientist Lee Min at the monthly Alien Affairs briefing. They are solving engineering problems that were impossible for them just 2 years ago. Admiral So Young listened to the reports with mixed feelings. The Eternal Conclave's promises were proving true, but the rapid changes in alien allies were creating new political complications. Are they still cooperative with human expansion efforts? More than ever. But there is something different about them. They seem to anticipate our needs before we express them. Sometimes it feels like they understand human nature better than we do ourselves. This pattern was repeating across multiple species. The hexapod engineers had developed new construction techniques that seemed specifically designed for human preferences they had never directly observed. The Zephyrian Trade Federation was delivering resources to colonies before those colonies had requested them. The enhanced abilities of humanity's allies were impressive, but also unsettling. Some Earth leaders worried that humans were creating super-intelligent alien species that might eventually surpass their creators. On the frontier world of New Incheon, Captain Dong Hyun was witnessing the most dramatic example of human-alien cooperation yet achieved. His merchant vessel now carried a mixed crew of humans and aliens working together as true partners, rather than benefactor and recipient. Captain, we have reached the Andromeda Gateway, announced Navigation Officer Song Yi, a human who had developed enhanced spatial awareness after working with Void Shepherd navigators. Confirmed, added Chief Engineer Thekvor, a hexapod who had learned to think in 3-dimensional solutions after observing human problem-solving methods. The Andromeda Gateway was humanity's most ambitious project yet. Built with technology from 7 different alien species, it would allow instant travel to the neighboring galaxy. No single species could have created such a device alone, but human involvement had inspired innovations that made the impossible possible. However, as the gateway powered up for its first test, long-range sensors detected troubling activity in the outer system. A massive fleet of unknown vessels was approaching at high speed. Captain, reported communications specialist Ye Jin, we are receiving a transmission from the approaching fleet. They identify themselves as the Umbral Coalition Enforcement Division. Captain Dong Hyun realized that humanity's success had finally provoked a serious military response from their enemies. The sabotage campaigns had been just the beginning. Now, the species excluded from supporting humanity were preparing for open warfare. "Send word to all human colonies and allied fleets," he ordered. "The Umbral Coalition is no longer hiding behind terrorist attacks. This is the beginning of a real war." As warning messages spread across human space, the galaxy prepared for its first major conflict in millions of years. Humanity's gift for inspiring others had created powerful allies, but it had also made dangerous enemies. The next phase of human expansion would be won or lost through battle rather than diplomacy. The cosmic gold rush was about to become a cosmic war. Xenoarchaeologist Chang Ho carefully brushed dust from the ancient stone tablet. He was working in ruins deep beneath the surface of Galactic Core World 7, a dead planet that had once been home to an advanced civilization. The expedition had been searching for clues about the galaxy's history for 6 months, but this discovery was beyond anything they had expected. "Dr. Chang Ho, you need to see this immediately," called his assistant, research specialist Yun Ha. She was standing near a wall covered in symbols that seemed to glow with their own inner light. Chang Ho approached the wall and felt his breath catch. The symbols were arranged in patterns that looked familiar, very familiar. They matched descriptions of the predecessor civilization mentioned by the Eternal Conclave. "These writings are at least 12 million years old," he told his team. "But the preservation is perfect. It is as if they were carved yesterday." Graduate student Min Ho activated his translation software and began processing the alien text. The results appeared on his tablet within minutes. "Sir, you are not going to believe what this says." Chang Ho read the translation twice before speaking. The ancient records described a species that had possessed humanity's exact gift for inspiring other races to transcend their limitations. They had spread across the galaxy, gathering alien allies who received immortality and vast resources in return for their support. "Keep translating," he ordered. "I want to know everything about what happened to them." Over the next 3 days, the team uncovered the complete history of the predecessor civilization. The parallels to humanity's current situation were disturbing and exact. The predecessors had expanded rapidly with alien support, established colonies across the galaxy, and inspired countless species to achieve previously impossible advancements. But the story did not end happily. According to these records, Chang Ho explained during an emergency communication with Earth, the predecessor allies eventually became completely dependent on their benefactors. They lost all initiative and creativity of their own. "Admiral, so Young listened to the report from Earth Command Headquarters. What happened when the predecessors left?" "That is the most disturbing part. The predecessors eventually transcended physical existence entirely, just as Luminarch Veltus told us. But when they abandoned their physical forms, their dependent allies collapsed into stagnation. Entire civilizations forgot how to innovate or grow on their own." Chang Ho transmitted images of the ancient ruins. Once great cities had crumbled not from war or disaster, but from simple neglect. Species that had achieved immortality and unlimited resources had gradually lost the will to use them constructively. The records suggest that these stagnant civilizations became the foundation of what is now called the Eternal Conclave, Chang Ho continued. "They have spent 12 million years managing the galaxy according to the same pattern, waiting for another species like the predecessors to appear." Dr. Nari Kim received the report at the Lunar Research Station and immediately began developing alternative theories. As Earth's chief xenobiologist, she had been studying the effects of human-alien interaction for 3 years. Chang Ho's discovery provided the missing pieces of a puzzle she had been trying to solve. "The cosmic law is not about humanity being naturally superior," she explained to her research team. "It is about the universe seeking balance through cooperation and growth." Her assistant, biochemist Sung Min, reviewed the data from current human colonies. The predecessors may have failed because they accepted worship instead of forming true partnerships. They became leaders rather than collaborators, Dr. Nari Kim nodded. The evidence was compelling. Human colonies that treated their alien allies as equals were showing remarkable innovation and growth. Colonies that accepted alien gifts without reciprocation were beginning to show signs of dependency and reduced initiative. We need to completely restructure how humans interact with alien species, she concluded. Project Symbiosis is the answer. Admiral So Young initiated Project Symbiosis 6 weeks later. The radical new approach emphasized genuine partnership over the traditional benefactor-recipient relationship. Instead of accepting gifts and tribute, humans would share their inspirational abilities while learning from alien expertise as true partners. The first test took place on New Busan Colony. Military Commander Ji-hoon worked with Corvin engineers to develop new defensive systems. Instead of the Corvins simply providing technology, human and alien teams worked together to create innovations neither species could achieve alone. The results are incredible, Ji-hoon reported to Earth. Our joint human-Corvin defense grid is 50 times more effective than anything either species had developed independently. Similar experiments were conducted across 17 human colonies. On Kepler Prime, human farmers worked directly with hexapod engineers to develop agricultural techniques that increased food production while improving soil quality permanently. On New Sol, human scientists collaborated with Nethys quantum specialists to create computing systems that operated faster than light itself. The results consistently showed that genuine partnership produced exponentially greater achievements than the traditional support model. Engineer Yu Jin, now coordinating Project Symbiosis across all human settlements, documented the changes carefully. Alien species working as true partners with humans are developing their own versions of our inspirational abilities, she reported. They are beginning to inspire each other to new achievements. But the Eternal Conclave was not pleased with these developments. Luminarch Valthus appeared at Luna Station without warning, its form more agitated than humans had ever seen. You are violating cosmic law, the entity declared. Humanity must accept your destined role as leaders and inspirers. This equality you seek disrupts the natural order. Admiral So Young faced the ancient being directly. What natural order? The order that creates stagnation and dependence? The order that has maintained peace and stability for 12 million years. The predecessors learned the hard way that some species must lead while others follow. Your experiments with partnership will lead to chaos. Dr. Nari Kim joined the conversation. Or they will lead to genuine growth and evolution for everyone involved. Your cosmic law is not divine mandate. It is a system of control designed to repeat the same cycle over and over. The confrontation with Valthus revealed the truth that human leaders had begun to suspect. The Eternal Conclave did not want humanity to succeed differently than the predecessors. They wanted to maintain their ancient system of managed galactic civilization. The Conclave consists of the predecessors themselves, Dr. Nari Kim realized, during debriefing sessions. They transcended physical existence but remained to control the galaxy according to their own pattern. They maintain this cycle to prevent any species from potentially surpassing them. Captain Haiyan Wu, now commanding a fleet of exploration vessels, shared these discoveries with human colonies across the galaxy. The revelation that cosmic law was actually cosmic control created a crisis that split humanity's alien allies into two camps. Species that had experienced true partnership with humans supported continued cooperation and mutual growth. Species that had become dependent on the traditional support model demanded a return to the old ways. The Corvin Republic, Hexapod Engineers, and Thermal Gardens Coalition backed Project Symbiosis. The Crystalline Hierophants, Zephyrian Trade Federation, and several newer allies opposed the changes. We are facing a choice that will determine the future of galactic civilization, Admiral So Young announced to the emergency session of Earth's United Government. We can follow the predecessor pattern and eventually abandon our allies to pursue individual transcendence, or we can prove that genuine partnership creates sustainable growth for everyone. The decision was unanimous. Humanity would continue Project Symbiosis and resist the Eternal Conclave's demands to return to the traditional cosmic law. But Luminarch Valthus had made the consequences clear. If you will not accept your proper role willingly, the Conclave will revoke our protection and declare humanity a rogue species. Every civilization in the galaxy will be authorized to take whatever action they deem necessary to contain your disruptive influence. The cosmic war that had begun with Umbral Coalition attacks was about to expand into a galaxy-wide conflict between those who supported partnership and those who demanded a return to the ancient order of cosmic control. Fleet Commander Tae-jun watched as the Liberation Armada assembled near the Jupiter orbital stations. 200 ships filled the space around the gas giant, but these were unlike any fleet in galactic history. Each vessel contained truly integrated crews of humans and aliens working as equal partners rather than leaders and followers. "Commander, the Corvin battle groups are reporting ready," announced Communications Officer Hai Ri. "The hexapod engineering ships have completed final modifications to our weapon systems." Tae-jun studied the tactical display. 6 months had passed since the Eternal Conclave declared humanity a rogue species. The galaxy had split into 2 warring camps. Species that supported Project Symbiosis joined the Liberation Armada. Those, loyal to the traditional cosmic law, formed the enforcement fleet under direct Conclave command. "What is our current strength?" 47 species have committed forces to our cause, reported intelligence analyst So Jin. The Thermal Gardens Coalition provided quantum shield technology. The Void Shepherds contributed their reality-shifting drives. Most importantly, the hybrid crews are achieving performance levels neither humans nor aliens could reach alone. This was the key advantage of the Liberation Armada. While enforcement fleet ships operated with traditional single-species crews, the rebels had discovered that mixed human-alien teams could accomplish impossible tasks. Human inspiration combined with alien capabilities created exponential improvements in everything from navigation to weapons targeting. On the flagship New Earth, Captain Dong Hyun commanded a bridge crew that represented 7 different species. Navigation Officer Song Yi worked alongside Void Shepherd spatial specialists who could bend space around their ship. Chief Engineer Thek Vor collaborated with human technicians to maintain systems that operated beyond the design specifications of any single species. "Captain, we are receiving reports from the outer system sensors," announced Tactical Officer Yan Wu, a human who had developed enhanced pattern recognition after working with Corvin strategic analysts. "The enforcement fleet is approaching. 2,000 ships under direct Conclave control." Captain Dong Hyun felt the weight of responsibility. The Liberation Armada was outnumbered 10 to 1, but they had advantages the enemy could not match. "Signal all ships. Begin Formation Symbiosis." Formation Symbiosis was a battle arrangement that no single species could have conceived. Human creativity had inspired the tactical framework. Corvin defensive knowledge provided the shield coordination. Hexapod engineering enabled the structural links. Void Shepherd reality manipulation allowed impossible maneuvers. The formation turned 200 individual ships into a single integrated weapon system. Meanwhile, on the research vessel New Horizon, scientist Bo Ram was making discoveries that would change the course of the war. Her team had been studying the effects of genuine partnership between species, and the results challenged everything the galaxy thought it knew about evolution and transcendence. "The traditional cosmic law creates artificial limitations," she explained to her mixed human-alien research team. "When species are forced into benefactor-recipient relationships, both sides are prevented from reaching their true potential." Her assistant, quantum biologist Ji-won, displayed their latest findings. "But when species work as genuine partners, they develop abilities that neither possessed originally. We are not just inspiring each other. We are evolving together into something entirely new." The evidence was overwhelming. Human-alien partnership crews were beginning to display collective consciousness abilities. They could anticipate each other's actions, share complex thoughts without verbal communication, and solve problems by combining their minds in ways that resembled telepathy, but exceeded it. "This is what the Eternal Conclave fears," Bo Ram realized. "If species can evolve together as partners, there is no need for ancient controllers to manage galactic civilization. The galaxy can grow and develop naturally without artificial limits." The first battle of the Galactic War began near Saturn's rings. The enforcement fleet attacked with overwhelming numbers, But formation symbiosis proved devastating against traditional tactics. Liberation Armada ships moved through space in patterns that seemed to violate physics, appearing in multiple locations simultaneously while maintaining perfect coordination. Fleet Commander Tae Jun watched as enemy ships struggled to target vessels that shifted between realities faster than their weapons could track. All ships execute Inspiration Protocol. Inspiration Protocol was the Liberation Armada's most powerful weapon. Instead of trying to destroy enemy ships, they transmitted the experiences and discoveries of Project Symbiosis directly to Enforcement Fleet crews. Many enemy ships simply stopped fighting as their crews realized what they had been missing. Commander, 17 enemy vessels are requesting permission to join the Liberation Armada, reported Communications Officer Hai Ri. Their crews want to experience genuine partnership instead of forced servitude. But the Eternal Conclave was not defenseless. Luminarch Valthus appeared throughout the battlefield simultaneously, its energy form growing larger and more threatening than humans had ever seen. You cannot defeat the natural order, the entity declared across all communication channels. We have controlled galactic civilization for 12 million years. We will not allow chaos to replace stability. The Conclave's response was terrifying. Ancient weapon systems that had been dormant for millions of years activated throughout the galaxy. Entire star systems were isolated by energy barriers that prevented faster-than-light travel. Space itself began to change as the Conclave altered physical laws in local regions. On New Busan Colony, Military Commander Ji Hoon watched his defensive systems fail as the laws of physics shifted around the planet. The Conclave is rewriting reality itself, he reported to the Liberation Fleet. They are not just controlling civilization. They are controlling the fundamental structure of the universe. Engineer Yu Jin, now coordinating resistance efforts across all human settlements, realized the true scope of what humanity was fighting against. The Eternal Conclave is not just a collection of ancient species. They have become the galaxy's operating system. They control everything from gravity to time itself. The revelation was staggering. The predecessors had not simply transcended physical existence. They had merged with the fundamental forces that governed galactic civilization. This was why the cosmic law seemed universal and inevitable. It was literally written into the structure of space and time. But scientist Bo Ram's research team had discovered something the Conclave had not anticipated. Genuine partnership between species created quantum effects that operated outside the controlled parameters of galactic law. When consciousness from different species merge through true cooperation, they generate what we call reality resonance, she explained during an emergency strategy meeting. This resonance can rewrite local physical laws just as effectively as Conclave technology. The second phase of the battle began when Liberation Armada crews started using reality resonance as a weapon. Human-alien partnership teams focused their combined consciousness to create zones where Conclave control could not function. Within these zones, the ancient weapon systems failed and normal physics returned. Captain Hyan Wu led a strike force directly toward the galactic core, where intelligence suggested the main Conclave control system was located. His ship, the New Baekdu, carried the most experienced partnership crew in the fleet. If anyone could reach the source of Conclave power, it would be them. We are approaching the core system, reported Navigation Officer Min Seo, whose consciousness now merged, naturally with her Void Shepherd partner. Energy readings are off all known scales. Whatever the Conclave is using to control the galaxy, it is concentrated here. As they approached the galactic center, the true nature of their enemy became clear. The Eternal Conclave was not operating from ships or planets. They had become the galactic core itself, transforming the supermassive black hole into a consciousness-amplifying system that could influence every star system in the galaxy. We are not just fighting an ancient civilization, Captain Hyan Wu realized. We are fighting the galaxy itself. But we have something they never expected. We have genuine partnership, and that might be enough to free everyone from 12 million years of cosmic control. The final battle for the future of galactic civilization was about to begin at the very center of the galaxy, where space and time themselves would serve as the battlefield. Admiral So Young stood on the bridge of the Liberation Fleet flagship as they approached the galactic core. The massive construct ahead of them defied description. It looked like the galaxy's central black hole had been transformed into something alive. Streams of energy connected it to every star system, creating a web of control that spanned millions of light years. "Admiral, we are detecting consciousness patterns throughout the construct," reported Chief Science Officer Dr. Nari Kim. "The entire structure appears to be a single vast mind. This is not just the Eternal Conclave's headquarters. This is the Eternal Conclave itself." The truth was more disturbing than anyone had imagined. The predecessors had not simply transcended physical existence. They had merged their consciousness with the galactic core, turning the galaxy's gravitational center into a control system for all civilized life. Captain Haiyan Wu led the first wave of ships toward the construct. His vessel, the New Baekdu, carried the most experienced human-alien partnership crew in the fleet. If genuine cooperation could overcome 12 million years of cosmic control, his team would prove it. "Captain, the construct is responding to our approach," announced Navigation Officer Min Seo. Her consciousness had merged so completely with her Void Shepherd partner that they spoke as one voice. "Reality is becoming unstable around us. The Conclave is trying to rewrite physics to prevent our advance. But something unexpected happened. As the construct attempted to alter physical laws around the Liberation Fleet, the reality resonance generated by the partnership crews created zones of stability. Within these zones, the Conclave's reality-altering weapons had no effect. "We are creating pockets of free space," realized Engineer Yu Jin from her position on the tactical coordination ship. "Genuine partnership between species generates a form of consciousness that operates outside Conclave control." The battle that followed was unlike anything in galactic history. It was fought with ideas as much as weapons. Every time the Conclave tried to impose their version of cosmic law, the partnership crews demonstrated alternatives through their combined consciousness. Fleet Commander Tae Jun coordinated attacks that were not designed to destroy the construct, but to free the consciousness trapped within it. "All ships execute Liberation Protocol. We are not here to defeat the Conclave. We are here to show them what they have forgotten." Liberation Protocol transmitted the experiences of Project Symbiosis directly into the galactic construct. For the first time in 12 million years, the merged predecessor consciousness was exposed to genuine partnership between species, instead of the benefactor-recipient relationships they had created. The effect was immediate and dramatic. Parts of the construct began to shift and change as individual predecessor consciousnesses started to remember what they had lost. The web of energy connecting the construct to distant star systems flickered as the unified conclave mind experienced internal conflict. Luminarch Velthus appeared throughout the battle zone, but its form was different now. Instead of the confident geometric patterns humans had first encountered, the entity displayed chaotic shifts and contradictory shapes. "You do not understand what you are doing," Velthus declared across all communication channels. "Without our control, the galaxy will fall into chaos. Species will fight each other for resources. Civilizations will collapse into barbarism. We have maintained peace for 12 million years." Captain Haiyan Wu made direct contact with the predecessor consciousness at the heart of the construct. The communication was not through words, but through the shared experience of what genuine partnership could accomplish. "We understand what you became," he transmitted to the ancient mind. "You thought leadership and control were the only ways to prevent chaos. But you were wrong. True partnership creates stability through cooperation, not domination. The revelation that genuine cooperation could create greater growth than exploitation began to crack the conclave's ancient certainties. Individual predecessor consciousnesses started to separate from the unified construct, each one experiencing the possibility of a different approach to galactic civilization. Dr. Nari Kim and her integrated research team achieved something unprecedented during the battle. Working with predecessor consciousnesses that were beginning to break free from the construct, they helped several ancient entities return to individual physical form for the first time in millions of years. "We can show you what we have learned," Dr. Nari Kim offered to the newly separated predecessors. Partnership does not mean abandoning transcendence. It means achieving transcendence together instead of alone. The climax came when enough predecessor consciousness is separated from the construct to destabilize the entire control system. The web of energy connecting the galactic core to distant star systems began to collapse, but instead of creating chaos, it revealed the natural growth and cooperation that had been suppressed for 12 million years. Throughout the galaxy, species that had been artificially limited by cosmic law suddenly found themselves free to evolve and develop according to their natural potential. The artificial boundaries between benefactor and recipient species dissolved as civilizations began forming genuine partnerships based on mutual benefit rather than cosmic decree. Scientist Bo Ram, observing the changes from her research vessel, documented the transformation. "The galaxy is not falling into chaos," she reported. "It is experiencing the largest period of growth and innovation in recorded history. Without artificial controls, species are naturally cooperating to achieve things none of them could accomplish alone." The Eternal Conclave, as a unified, controlling entity, ceased to exist. But the individual predecessor consciousnesses that had formed it did not disappear. Many chose to return to physical existence and learn about the partnership model that humanity had demonstrated. Others remained in transcendent form but abandoned their role as galactic controllers. Luminarch Vilthus was among those who chose to return to physical existence. The entity that had first told humans about cosmic law became one of the first to experience what genuine partnership could accomplish. "We thought we were protecting the galaxy from chaos," Vilthus explained to Admiral So Young during the first meeting of the new Galactic Partnership Council. "But we were actually preventing growth. Your species showed us that cooperation creates stability more effectively than control." The establishment of the new galactic order took several years, but the results exceeded everyone's expectations. Humanity's gift for inspiring others remained, but it was no longer channeled through a system of cosmic law. Instead, it operated through genuine partnerships that benefited all participants. Engineer Yu Jin, now coordinating galactic infrastructure projects, oversaw the construction of the first truly cooperative megastructures. Human inspiration combined with alien expertise created space stations, terraforming systems, and transportation networks that served all species equally. Captain Dong Hyun commanded the first expedition beyond the galactic edge, carrying the partnership model to other galaxies. His crew included former conclave entities working alongside humans and aliens as genuine equals. The promise of immortality and riches remained available to those who supported humanity, but the definition had changed completely. Instead of cosmic law granting these benefits, they arose naturally from successful partnerships. Species that worked closely with humans found that cooperation extended their lifespans, enhanced their abilities, and provided access to resources they could never have obtained alone. Philosopher Min Seo observed in her final report that supporting humanity truly did lead to immortality and riches, but not because of ancient cosmic decree. Genuine cooperation and mutual inspiration create sustainable growth that benefits all participants, she wrote. When consciousness from different species merge through partnership, they achieve a form of transcendence that includes everyone, rather than leaving anyone behind. The galaxy entered a new age where transcendence was a shared journey rather than a solitary achievement. Human-alien crews ventured beyond the galactic edge, carrying the partnership model to other galaxies and ensuring that the cycle of growth and cooperation would continue throughout the universe. In the end, humanity's greatest gift was not their ability to inspire others to exceed natural limitations. It was their discovery that transcendence achieved through partnership was infinitely more valuable than transcendence achieved through dominion. The promise of cosmic law had been fulfilled, but in ways the ancient predecessors never could have imagined. The universe was vast, filled with countless galaxies and infinite possibilities for cooperation and growth. Humanity and their partners would explore them all together, proving that the greatest riches and the most meaningful immortality came not from cosmic decree, but from the simple act of working together toward common dreams.